There's no doubt about it, snakes are incredible animals. I keep a variety of animals here at the house, including a cat, 50 plus tarantulas, Argentine black and white tegu, 2 children. But snakes hold a special place in my heart. In particular, boa constrictors. The size, the pattern, their temperament, they are, mesmerized me since I was a kid. So today, I figured we'd go through some interesting facts about snakes, mainly focused on boa constrictors, to share with new keepers and folks just doing some general early research into snake care. I'm Jay. This is Jay's Cryptic Creatures. Let's go learn something together. This is Medusa, my Junglo boa imperator. He's going to hang out with me while we do a couple of these interesting facts. His genes are hypo, jungle, and albino. So the first thing that people will find interesting is boas have tails. So if you're, not new to snake keeping, you folks probably already know this. But boas have tails. All snakes have tails. So the way that you find the tail of a snake is you locate their cloaca. That's where the poop comes from. And then anything past the cloaca is considered the tail. Boas, in particular, have pretty sensitive tails. So if you touch them, you'll see a reaction happen. For other species of boa constrictor, such as tree boas, the tails can be quite fragile. So it's advised not to mess around with them. But yeah, you can go tell your friends that snakes have tails. The next interesting thing is snakes have legs, sort of. So in particular, male snakes have what's called spurs. These are vestigial legs, so remnants of an old ancestor, and the legs have kind of disappeared or become useless. And what we call them now are spurs. So it's believed that these spurs are used in mating. So the male will drag the spurs across the back of a female to get her in the mood, we'll say. They, depending on snake species, they can be pretty prevalent, like stand out quite a bit, or in some a little bit harder to find. But they tend to be pretty sharp too. So, it's kind of easy to get scratched, if you will. So the next time you're with your friends or your buddies, you can say, hey, I got scratched by my snake. You're likely to get a pretty interesting reaction when saying that. So snakes have legs, sort of. This next one is more of debunking a myth. No, snakes do not dislocate their jaw. However, they have some really interesting adaptations to their jaw that allow them to eat prey that is significantly bigger than what humans would be able to eat in a sitting. So there's two things in particular. One, right here where your chin would connect is actually not connected. There's only a membrane connecting the left and the right. So when a snake eats, it can actually widen this portion of their jaw, and then it walks back and forth to kind of bring the prey in. They both can operate independently. The other adaptation is where the jawbone is connected. It is actually hinged in a manner that it can open almost 180 degrees versus humans, where we're connected back here at almost the ear, where there is a limited range of motion. Snakes can open almost 180. So between opening the mouth wide on the vertical and then being able to spread the jaw apart allows for the snake to eat those large prey items. So no, snakes cannot dislocate their jaw. Anacondas, which are part of the Boa Constrictor family, are the heaviest bodied snakes in the world. Not the longest. So reticulated pythons are the longest snakes in the world. And despite anacondas getting over 15, potentially over 17, getting the mythical 20 feet long, they're still not the longest. However, they are the heaviest. The reports are kind of all over the place. Over 200 pounds. If you dive and you hear the stories or believe everything you see on the internet, they mentioned 500 pounds. That's probably not factual, but they are very heavy-bodied animals, hence living or spending most of their time in the water of the Amazon. Anacondas, part of the boa family, the heaviest bodied snakes in the world. Not all snakes lay eggs. So when I first started keeping snakes, I had and incorrectly assumed that all snakes lay eggs. Come to find out that boa constrictors give live birth. So boa constrictors, most of the species in that family are viviparous. So internally, the ovaries contain the embryo, and it's very egg-like. However, as the snake approaches birth, the snakes break out of the eggs inside of the mother and then end up being birthed live. So I never incubated eggs before, so I don't really know the pros and cons of that. However, I have had the joy of walking into the snake room and seeing your snakes giving live birth, which is absolutely amazing. It's such a cool feeling, and to produce little snake babies and see them wriggling around in the cage. So that's pretty cool. So another fact you can share with your friends and families: not all snakes lay eggs. I figure get one more snake out as we close out this video. This guy is a roller. He is my Hypo 100% het blood Boa Imperator. Hopefully this fall will be his first year breeding, so we're wishing him the best of luck. So as we learned today, snakes are undoubtedly amazing. For first-time keepers or folks just getting into the hobby or children, snakes are full of interesting facts, as are most animals when you begin to do your research. So hopefully today we learned a little something that we didn't know before about boa constrictors and snakes. Hopefully this spurns excitement to continue doing research and learning. And if you're thinking about getting a snake, I would recommend boa constrictors. They are pretty amazing creatures. In the upcoming video, we'll be discussing boa constrictors as your first pet snake and the pros and the cons that might go along with them. So thank you for watching. This is Jay's Cryptic Creatures. Like, subscribe, and let's continue to learn about snakes, tarantulas, and other creatures together.